Welcome into Bears Now by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. Bears GM Ryan Poles joined the Pat McAfee Show today to talk about a variety of topics, Caleb Williams being one of them, RG3's comments, his reaction to that. We'll get to all of it coming up here in just a moment, but you want to help a brother out? You want to give me a follow on Twitter, X, whatever your preference is. It's all the same. At HGramNFL, I'm trying to get to 9,000 followers ASAP. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Let's get to 9K on Twitter and grow this Bears family together. All right, Ryan Poles ripping RG3. He, of course, was asked by Pat McAfee about RG3's take from, I guess, about 10 days ago now, saying that Caleb Williams should pull an Eli Manning. If you missed that, here's what RG3 had to say, and this was shortly after the Justin Fields trade, because I think he got caught up in his emotions. They screwed Justin. Here's what RG3 said. Caleb Williams should pull an Eli Manning and demand the Chicago Bears do not draft him number 1 overall after everything that has happened with just Justin Fields. Can Caleb Williams really look at that and say, this is an organization that has my best interest in heart and they're going to help develop me? Well, Ryan Poles was asked about just that. And here's what he said. It pisses me off a little bit, to be honest, because we were hired to break a cycle. The same thing was true when I was in Kansas City. Coach Reed and all of us were brought there to break a cycle, and we did. No one talks about those days anymore. It's all about what they are right now. And he went on to talk about saying, we feel like we're close here in Chicago of having the right quarterback and, more importantly, building the structure for when you bring in that quarterback, which is something Justin didn't have. Ryan Poles had to clean up the mess of Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. So, yeah, Justin, in a way, got screwed, but it's not Ryan Poles' fault. And by the way, they are setting up the next guy very well. And I'm just glad that Poles did this, that he easily could have told McAfee, like, I'm not worried about what RG3 is saying. Like, Poles is a pretty honest guy. And he's pretty open about what he's willing to talk about. And I'm glad he had a little fire, like, yeah, like, that pissed me off. Like, yeah, the history's the history, but the here and now is pretty good. And we've talked about this before, too. Look at what Caleb Williams, or whatever rookie, we all know it's going to be Caleb, is going to work with. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, 2 number 1 receivers in this league. A pretty good 1-2 punch at running back in DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson in the mix as well. Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett at tight end. A young ascending offensive line that still has some questions, but is certainly trending up. A top 10 defense to work with. The number 9 overall pick, by the way, potentially another weapon for Caleb or another good piece on this roster. And a revamped offensive staff upgrading from Luke Getsy to Shane Waldron and company. And I'll ask you this, and this is why I thought it was so garbage what RG3 said, and I'm glad Poles kind of called him out on it. I'll ask you, anyone watching, Bears fan or not, what QB-needy team in the NFL right now is set up better for a rookie to come in and have success? Commanders at 2? Nope. A team like the Raiders? No. Team like the Giants? No. They have no receivers. Their offensive line stinks. The Vikings are a decent one. They have a good coaching staff. They've got Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. I think that's a decent one, but their defense isn't close. And a rookie quarterback having a good defense, I think, is good. The point is, the Bears have set this up extraordinarily well. This is not a normal situation for a number 1 pick in the draft to walk into and potentially have immediate success, not only individually, but as a team. Like, this team could be a playoff team right away. So this whole, he needs to pull an Eli. He'd be stupid to pull an Eli. Like, going to Washington does not help Caleb Williams. It just doesn't. So I'm glad Poles called this out. I called it out when it happened in real time, and it's quite frankly, it's fun for me to call it out again because it's such an asinine take by Robert Griffin III. He got clicks out of it, and hey, here I am talking about it again. So he's probably the winner at the end of the day. But I had to bring it back to the table. Fill in the blank. The Bears will win blank games in 2024. Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, maybe more importantly than Ryan Poles shouting back at Robert Griffin III is did he kind of unintentionally, but maybe intentionally, continue to show evidence that Caleb Williams is going to be the Bears selection? Because they're certainly not shying away from it. Check out this quote. First of all, Pat McAfee asked Ryan this. He said, do you hate the fact that it's such a matter of fact that Caleb Williams is the likely pick at 1? Does it suck that you have no leverage with the number 1 pick because everyone seems to know what you're doing? Or is it great because there is a guy everyone assumes is the number one pick and is going to likely be really good, yada, yada, yada. Ryan Poles said this, I think it's different year to year, but when you have pretty good clarity, it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, you watch the quote, and he turns and looks at McAfee kind of with like a little, like, not a smirk, but just like it seemed intentionally when he turned at him. I mean, it kind of felt like, yeah, when you have clarity like we do, it's a little bit easier. It's like so obvious they're drafting Caleb. Like they're not even hiding it anymore. Like I know in an answer earlier they were like, "Congrats, you're drafting Caleb Williams," and Ryan said maybe, and it's like it's not maybe, dude. Like yeah, everybody knows what you're doing. The NFL likes having suspense of the number one pick because I like to get those draft ratings up. The Commanders are on the clock, which is something I tweeted out earlier today. The Bears have clarity on Caleb. Sure, they're gonna check out Jaden Daniels and Drake May and all that stuff, and Caleb's still got to do his top 30 visit at House Hall. But as the kids say, this one's Jover. Caleb Williams will be a Chicago Bear, whether you like it or not. Now, Game Time is something you should like, and if you don't, then it's probably because you haven't downloaded the app. Be sure to download Game Time right now. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time, and you know what sucks? Not being able to meet up with friends at sporting events, concerts, whatever the case may be, because you didn't get your tickets ordered in time. Well, with Game Time, unlike other apps, you can get last-minute tickets, for the best price available, and instantly. You're not going to be waiting for hours wondering if those tickets are going to be digitally sent to you. It happens very, very quickly. I've used it on numerous occasions on the day of the games, even minutes and just hours before the start of games or concerts. Their specialty is last-minute tickets, flash deals, and zone deals. In the app, you'll see the best value tickets for every event coming up in real time. You also get to see the vantage point of whatever tickets you're purchasing. If you're going to go to a Cubs game at Wrigley and you're searching for specific tickets that are available, there's a picture of your exact vantage point. So like you're going to know if it's a good view or not. Which is absolutely awesome as well. Not all apps offer that. So I would encourage you right now, download the Game Time app today. Lots of sports going on in Chicago right now, both baseball squads. You got Bulls at a playoff push. You got some Blackhawks action as well. Use code CHATSPORTS when you download the Game Time app today. That's going to get you $20 off. That's code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off. Download the app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Link is in the comments and in the description of this video. All right, the boomerism of George McCaskey seems to have struck again here as he's going to do everything in his power, it sounds like, to not be on Hard Knocks, which is a damn shame because I think the Bears could be an incredibly entertaining Hard Knocks product this year. He was asked about it earlier, and he kind of just danced around and said, we're told there is some interest in other teams being on the program, and we welcome that interest. He was asked if his stance has changed on Hard Knocks. He said no. Just embrace this one time. Like Caleb Williams is, they seem to be embracing him. He's a different type of prospect. He's already a superstar. He's the biggest figure in NIL, which Ryan Poles talked about earlier, which is why they really had to do a deep dive there. How has he handled that? He said he's checked all that boxes. If you're embracing that, why not embrace Hard Knocks? I mean, they're around at training camp and that's it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Embrace this one time because I'll be damned if I'm going to watch the godforsaken Denver Broncos or New Orleans Saints on Hard Knocks. I will not. So, George McCaskey, if you're trying to get less eyeballs on Hard Knocks, send it to Denver because I have no interest in watching Jarrett Stidham and some – you know what's going to happen. Producer Coops with me today. They're going to, force some story – Jarrett Stidham, the next Geno Smith, revitalizing his career in Denver. He's got the QB guru of Sean Payton, and everybody watching is going to be like, no one believes this. This is painful. How about we watch the team that's got 2 top 10 picks, Caleb Williams, the most polarizing player coming into this league in a long time. How about that? That is juice. The Saints, no juice. I don't know if Trizzy Trace can hear me. No juice. Derek Carr, no one cares. Dennis Allen, he's brutal. The Bears are the team out of the eligible teams. We'll see if they're able to expand the pool if all these 3 teams don't do it. But can we get it trending? Hashtag Bears on Hard Knocks right now. Tweet it out. Tag me in the tweet at HGramNFL. I will retweet you. Let's get it rolling. George McCaskey, if you're watching, shut down your boomerism for just a month and a half in the month of August and late July. Let's get the Bears on Hard Knocks, man. The Hall of Fame game, that's going to be terrific. Come on. Let's make it happen. And if it does happen, we'll be doing some shows around it here on this channel. All right. Is Velus Jones back? Now, I shouldn't say back because he's never really arrived as a player in the NFL, but the NFL's new kickoff rule passing, which is going to lead to a ton more kickoffs, might just save Velus's career in Chicago. Like, here's a little diagram of it, courtesy of the NFL and Ian Rappaport here. Basically, the way it's going to work is kickers are still going to kick from their own 35. The kickoff unit team is only going to be 5 yards away from the return team. So what happens is as soon as the ball is touched by a return team player or it hits the ground, players can start moving. So what that's going to lead to is way less full-speed collisions because they won't be running 50 yards downfield and knocking each other's heads off. It's just going to be a lesser injury. This was experimented with in the XFL and led to exciting plays and much lower injury rate. Also, keeping the ball in play for kicking teams is going to be encouraged because if you kick a touchback, the ball is going to start at the 30 instead of the 20 or 25. Velus Jones' kickoff return average is 27.4 yards, which is one of the best in the NFL over the past couple of years. So he's an exciting returner, so he might actually slip into the 53 again this year. Now, he's got to improve at least a little as a wide receiver, and it would be great if he could learn how to catch a punt, but the Bears might deem him worthy of keeping a roster spot because of his explosiveness in the return game, and you're going to go from now what it was last year, maybe 20% return rate in the NFL to probably 75 plus. I don't think there's going to be many touchbacks at all because teams are not going to want to just concede the 30-yard line. So I think there is a little value there. I think Velus could provide a little bit of juice in that role. I mean, I don't think he can purely be a kick return guy. Like, I think he's going to have some value elsewhere, but this new rule might just save his job in Chicago, and maybe, just maybe, he gets something going here in year 3. Now, let me know what you guys think. Will Velus Jones Jr. make the 53-man roster in 2024? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Give us your thoughts on that down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will continue to hit you guys with the latest Bears news and rooms, draft, free agency coverage, and a whole lot more, so don't miss out. My name is Harrison Graham. Subscribe and bear down.